let's talk about trigger links. So first, what the heck is a trigger link, right? So if we go to probably help go high level stuff here. If you look in the Go High Level platform, you can kind of just look and see what is a trigger link. And let's see here where we can find it. Where trigger link clicked. Okay, so picture a trigger link to be like a light switch. So you're putting a light switch in your workflow, in your automation workflow, but something has to happen to turn the light switch on, right? And the action of turning the light switch on turns the light on, right? So that's kind of what a trigger link is. You can decide when an action happens and somebody flips the switch, what is the reaction? Well, the light turns on. So that's what a trigger link is, but you get to decide in your workflow what happens next, not necessarily a light bulb, right? It could be sending an email. It could be adding the contact to a specific section of your CRM, so calling them, whatever you really decide. And that's really what a trigger link is. So again, if you're looking for that, you can find it in the Go High Level knowledge base, or in the, if you're in our platform here, you can click on this little guy here and there's knowledge bases in here. Just type trigger link and it'll explain to you in detail what a trigger link really is. But I always just think of it, yeah, just as a light switch, right? So you're kind of adding something in your system that's stopping the workflow until an action happens and go from there. So let's do kind of a common use case where you would go to your automations here and you would create your workflow. So we're just going to create a new one. Start from scratch. Okay. And now let's just say, like we've mentioned in the past, the easiest thing to do usually is to add a tag to, or let's see, trigger. Yeah, there you go. It is in there. Okay. So actually we're going to back up a step. First, one common use case I was doing the other day was somebody's website, and it was their booking page. We were like, okay, well, if the person clicks on this booking page of my website, but they don't book a call, I want to send them a message after saying like, hey, hope all is well. I saw you clicked and didn't quite get to book a call yet. Just wanted to check in if you're still interested. So we want to make this page a trigger. Okay, so we're basically saying if somebody lands on this page, but they don't react to it, I want something else to happen. Okay, so we're going to go into, I think it's, yeah, in marketing. And now we have to create our trigger links. We got to create our light switch. Okay, so you go here and you go add link. You can see we use trigger links a lot because it's a really great way to be able to make something happen when somebody clicks on something. So I'm going to call this my website booking page, and I'm going to put my website booking page link here. Okay, so now I've created my light switch. I don't know where it ended up. My deals here. I've got 2 pages. Website booking page. Okay, so you can see my link has been created, and this is what we're going to use in the workflow. So we're going to go back to that automation, and we're going to just create a new workflow, which is what I just did here. So this one's blank still. And now you can actually create this trigger. So you're like, okay, I want my light switch to work now. So you're going to go and you're going to type trigger. Okay, and now we're going to look for that link that we just created. So we're going to click this add filter one because we want a specific light switch. We want that specific trigger, right? So you're going to click and you're going to search for the one that you just created, website booking page. Now, if anybody clicks on that trigger link, and it can create a contact or anything like that, you get to decide what happens next. So now, in this case, I'll pick on Peter. If somebody clicked on this page, Peter, and they went to go book an appointment with you, but they didn't quite book that appointment, what would you want to happen?
Yeah, I'd probably want to give them a certain amount of time. I don't know whether that would be 5 minutes or 24 hours, but I like this. It's kind of like you got poison ivy. You can run, but you can't hide.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm going to find you. I like that. So like Peter said, he's like, okay, I want to add a wait step. So you click on this little plus now. So you've got your trigger link. Somebody's clicking on that website link, right? And now he's like, okay, well, I don't want to be too much of a creep and message them right away. So I'm going to give them 5 minutes. and you're going to put your 5-minute delay here. You can make this a day, whatever, right? But you're hoping that, you know, in that first 5 minutes, they take the time to book an appointment. And then after that, you'd probably want to send them, if you had their contact details, if they were a contact in your system, right? If not, it's going to try to make a contact, but it always looks for a phone number and email. So you can do an email from here. So you're like, okay, they clicked on this page, they didn't book an appointment, so I'm going to wait 5 minutes and I'm going to send them an email. So you're going to go through here, pick one of your templates and hit save. And you can keep building this as long as you want based on the action. So this action can be, a trigger link can be almost anything. It could be after somebody, you send an email and there's a link in that email to your booking page, let's just say, then they click on it but don't do anything and you want to follow up with them after. It could be they clicked on the trick, you want to track open rates of that email, could be the same thing, right? So you're always creating the trigger, which is your light switch, and what happens after you turn it on. You want to wait 5 minutes and you want to send a text message, and then you put your text
You have
message
to do a
in.
separate task to monitor the open rate of the reminder email.
You can, yeah. Not from the newsletters we've created in the past, because it has its own open thing, right? But
That's right.
in this case, what is more common, I would say, if we open up an email now, let's pretend this workflow was slightly different and it started with a tag. You added a tag, you sent an email and whatnot. You can actually, let's pick a client one here, verbal pre-approval, okay? And open this one up. You can put trigger links inside of emails and even text messages, like schedule this meeting. It could be a trigger link. And then if they do click on that in your meeting, all of a sudden you get to now what's the reaction of that, right? So it could be within a text message and they click on your blog. You're like, oh, I want to send them more blogs because they're actually interested. They clicked on it, right? So you get to be the reaction to their action. And that's exactly the beautiful thing of a trigger link, is because you can really make some crazy workflow. So for example, when I created the ChatGPT workflow for the training, I pre-thought of all those steps in advance, right? I thought, okay, well, I'm going to send my first email. In here, I had a trigger link for people to book the training, right? Book your training here. If they clicked on it, I put them in their own pipeline. And if they actually went through with it, I put them in a different pipeline. So I could track everybody's action to my email and then retarget them in a specific way based on their action. So if they didn't book, I could be like, okay, hey, I still have spots, blah, 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 blah. But if they did book, of course.
You go on Amazon, you click to buy something, that sits in your shopping basket till you check out.
Exactly. And also you get all those retargeting ads, right? They're like, I know you want this. So that's essentially what a trigger link is. But you still have to map out in your brain what you want to happen, like the reaction. But it's very powerful inside emails, I would say, email and text messages, because you're like, hey, use this. And if they click on it but don't follow through, you can retarget them, because you know they're kind of a warm lead at that point if they're actually interested, right? Go ahead, Kelly.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Do you have somebody in your waiting room trying to get in?
Oh, maybe.
Is Irina trying to get in?
Let me see.
Sorry to
Nope.
interrupt.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm having technical difficulties today.
Okay.
Where is it? I don't think so.
Okay. She just can't get in, so
Oh, sorry.
that's okay. I told her
Sure.
we can do she can rewatch it.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be a nice short one, for sure. Or I can meet with her as well. I don't think that, unless, I don't know, I'm having issues with my camera too, so who knows, but hi, Kelly. Yeah, so does that kind of make sense to everyone? Any questions or other use cases you can use it for? There's no way we're going to be done in 15 minutes. This would be like record-breaking time.
I'm trying to think.
I'd have to say that's one of my favorites, definitely, is email campaigns on your website. Trigger links are cool. all sorts of things really. Because they end up being kind of like a little code. I'll show you what it looks like here. End up being, so this schedule a meeting is obviously, well, we use values, but you could put your actual link there, or you could put your trigger link. So right here, there's this little button here. It looks like a link, and you can see all the trigger links you've created. So here's my website booking one, and see how it's like a bunch of funky letters. So typically, instead of showcasing this, I'll copy paste it and I'll put it inside of this instead. And then they don't really see the weird trigger link, because sometimes when people see the weird thing, they think it's spam because it's a bunch of letters and stuff. So I'll hide it behind text, link text, and do that.
So you don't have to change your booking link or any other links that are already in emails or whatever. You're just adding that link to the trigger link as a, if this happens, then do that.
Exactly. And then what's cool about after you have a trigger link, so I'll, well, we're using it. Let me delete this one. So let's just say this was a tag, and well, I don't think we need that. Second. Let's put the trigger link here. Can I do that? You can have a wait step, and you basically say, hey, wait for this trigger link to be clicked. So instead of waiting 5 minutes, you can say, if this ever gets clicked, and then you're going to pick which one it is. You can pick how long you want to wait. So let's say you want to wait 1 day. If this trigger link gets clicked, I want this to happen. If it doesn't get clicked after 1 day, I want this to happen. So you can really start to build out specific automations, marketing campaigns, and things based off people's actions in your email. So you could have a branch here, Peter, that said open, but you could also have one that says open, trigger clicked, replied, all sorts of stuff, so that you're almost mapping out which clients are interested, which ones aren't. Then you can put the ones who aren't in a long-term drip campaign, and you can put the ones who are on like your call list or whatever you decide, because obviously people who open your email, who click in your email, are people who you want to retarget again and again. So this wait step, instead, a lot of people think of wait steps as time, but it could also be a reaction to a trigger link being clicked. You're basically saying, okay, I'm going to give it a day to wait for people to click on that website booking link I texted them. And if they don't, I want this to happen. And if they do, I want this to happen. So you can really build out some complex stuff. I wonder, I know the other day I had a call with one of the brokers, and we used that exact same thing for her funnels. If this happens, do this, and if it doesn't happen, do that. So it seems complex at first, I think, if you're like, what the heck is she talking about? But once you use it a few times and you actually test it, like you add yourself as a contact and you click on that email and you see the reaction of the specific action that you put in your workflow happen after you clicked on it, you're like, oh yeah, okay, now I get it, right? So you're basically controlling the outcome based on what your contact is doing.
Cool.
Any other questions?